Big 12 today here on Big 12 Radio. This is the Big 12 Conference. This is a different league on a Halloween Friday. He's Ari Timken on social at Ari Sports. That's A-R-I Sports. I'm James Westling on social at James Westling. You're watching us on Big 12 Studios. We encourage you to join the conversation there. If you're watching on YouTube, we will circle back to some of your thoughts at some point throughout the show. Tomorrow, right here on Big 12 Radio, we have a triple header. Game of the week Saturday with UCF at Baylor starting at noon Eastern, 11 Central, followed by Texas Tech at Kansas State at 3:30 Eastern, 2:30 Central, and Arizona at Colorado at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, 6 p.m. Central, right here on Big 12 Radio. We are brought to you, the full-time fan, by our good friends at Modelo. Ari is going to be pounding Modelo's tonight as he's trick-or-treating throughout the neighborhood on this Halloween Friday. It is time for us to pick some games. The Big 12 today heater is still going strong. When you look at our picks, what do the standings look like?
Yeah, we're doing very well, but specifically you, James, you went 6-0 last week. We picked 6 games last week. We're back to 5 this week. We usually pick just 5 games, but you're at 30-16. I went a measly 5-1 last week.
Measly 5-1.
And in 28-18 overall. So last year I was dreadful. Like Stormy is 18-29, and that was me last year. And we're unfortunately not going to have Stormy Warren's picks this week, but yeah, I mean we're offering fans of Big 12 quite the return here on our picks. You at 30-16 and me at 28-18. It's a pretty good number if I might say so myself.
Humble brag, I'm 11-1 the last 2 weeks.
I was going to say, you've
humble brag.
You've picked up a lot, because I was up basically the entire season, and now you've pulled ahead of me based on your last 2 weeks. And really, last 3 or 4 weeks, you've been red hot in the month of October. It's really West-tober, if you will.
Yeah, there we go. We've got Soars-tober. We've got West-tober.
Yeah.
Sorry, trying to see what we'd be looking at if we were betting real talk on these games. So I'm hitting at 65%. If I was betting $100 a game, I'd be looking at a 24.5% return.
Wow.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, that's real good.
That's elite.
Yeah.
Elite. All right, we're picking the games. Taman, take us through it. We've got 5 Big 12 games that we're looking at today.
And since you are the leader,
what does that mean?
You pick first.
Okay.
All right, guys. Starting off, Iowa State versus Arizona State.
And the line is
6.5.
Iowa State is favored because Sam Leavitt is out. Man, that feels like a lot of points, but I lean Arizona State, even with Sam Leavitt out, even with Jeff Sims. I think he has started enough games now. He's been on the field enough that he can keep it close. I know this is in Ames, in Iowa State. They've been on this slide. They're going to have a get-right game where they just explode and they blow somebody out. That seems to be just about every year something that happens with Iowa State, even in these somewhat disappointing type seasons. But I just look at the points. These two teams, what they've dealt with the last couple of weeks, they're in very uncharted waters in terms of the amount of losses that they have between the two. So I think it's going to be close. Give me Arizona State to cover as a dog.
It's actually kind of remarkable that Arizona State is less than a touchdown underdog here because they've got Jeff Sims starting at quarterback and most likely no Jordan Tyson. And they're playing on the road. It's going to be an early game for them, 10 a.m. Tempe time, 12 p.m. Central time. And it's going to be cold in Ames, Iowa. Everything to me goes the way of Iowa State. I'll take Iowa State to cover this spread. Again, I think it's remarkable that it's less than a touchdown here, considering, again, Jeff Sims is starting, and you're most likely without Jordan Tyson. For an early game, early kick, it will be freezing temperatures in Ames, Iowa. And then the other part to this that I think is hugely important is Iowa State's back to being really good on special teams. Conrarty's back. And Arizona State's been dreadful on special teams. They're in the hundreds on special teams. So, like, all of that, to me, factors in for why I'm picking Iowa State to cover this spread.
And I now hate my pick.
Wow.
Do you see the game time temperature there? Is that what you're Googling?
No, what is it?
It's supposed to be in the 30s.
That's not great.
Yeah.
That's cold.
That's not great.
Yeah, for a
Dilly-dilly.
team
I
that
trust Dilly.
plays in the desert,
I trust Dillingham.
10 o'clock in the morning their time.
He's going to have them ready. They'll be fine.
Well, and again, I mean, to his credit, they're a 6.5-point underdog on the road with Jeff Sims at quarterback. I mean, it says a lot.
Like, you think the line should be bigger?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Okay.
All right, next one, guys. Texas Tech at Kansas State with the line at 7.5.
I know where you're going. I'm going to be shocked. I'm going to be shocked if you go the other way here. Where are you going, James?
Texas Tech is favored by 7.5. Kansas State covers this in Manhattan, and I think maybe wins the game outright. The way they're playing the last 4 weeks, I don't trust that Baron Morton is 100%. I know he maybe could have played last week, but I think he's one hit away from being out of this football game. And I think Kansas State, this time of year at home, there's just something special about Bill Snyder Family Stadium. It's Harley Day. For whatever reason, K-State always plays lights out. They're averaging over 6 yards per carry as a team. Avery Johnson has been so much better his last 3 games. His efficiency numbers are up. He's doing more with his legs. I think Kansas State has moved on from having Dylan Edwards being healthy in any of these games. Like, it's gravy now if he does play. Joe Jackson is the guy at running back. The offensive line is getting better, and the defense has just been violent for Kansas State. The turnover battle is an area I think K-State can win. At home, historically, the Cats are usually much better when it comes to turnover play this time of year, so I'm taking K-State.
I have gone back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. I'm going Texas Tech to cover here on the road and win in Manhattan for the first time since 2008. Here's the number, James. 63.4 yards per game. That is what Texas Tech's rush defense is giving up.
I know.
And in a game that we're going to see Joe Jackson, no Dylan Edwards, I feel like this is where K-State crashes back to reality because Texas Tech is a team that is able to take care of the football. Like, the thing that's buoyed K-State in their four wins and really all Big 12 season, as we've discussed, is turnovers. And while Texas Tech is really bad in terms of penalty yardage, I think they're like 102nd in the nation in penalties.
Yeah.
Turnovers is not an issue for them. They have not had an issue turning the football over. And Jacob Rodriguez is playing like the best defensive player in college football right now. So it feels like there's lots of momentum for Kansas State. They played really well. They're coming off a huge win over the rival. As you mentioned, it's Harley Day, but give me Texas Tech to flex its muscles and win here on the road in Manhattan. Give me Texas Tech to cover.
We know who's more talented. It's going to come down to special teams. The penalties is another thing that makes me think K-State can keep it close. And the turnovers, you're right. I mean, that's where Kansas State win a game where they're not +3 in the turnover margin. The last 3 weeks of the college football season, K-State is second in the country in turnover margin. And they're top 5 in the country now for the entire season. So that's going to be huge.
All right, next one. Arizona at Colorado. Line's 4.5.
So Arizona's favored in this game. The line is moved to 3.5, but we take it earlier in the week. So Arizona by 4.5 is where we have it. These two teams are a combined 2-7 in Big 12 play. It's at 7 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Central. You can watch it on FS1. Something tells me Colorado gets a win here outright at home. They've already sold over 45,000 tickets for this game. They're expecting a sellout for tomorrow night at Folsom Field in Boulder. And Colorado, I think that a lot of people are going to be jumping on Arizona because of recency bias and what happened with Colorado last time out. I still think they have something left in the tank. They allowed 422 rushing yards against Utah. They can't do that again. But Colorado at home is a different animal. So I just think Colorado keeps it close. Even if they lose this game, I think it's by less than 4.5.
Yeah, I'm with you here on this pick. I'm taking Arizona, or rather Colorado, plus the points at home. It feels like last week was a huge wake-up call for Deion and for this defense. And while Arizona may still win this game, it just feels like, as you mentioned, in a sellout crowd at home after getting blown out last week, Colorado has a better showing and keeps this game close. Give me Colorado plus the points.
All right, Utah 9.5-point favorite against Cincinnati. Who you got?
Which again, this line has moved to 10.5. We're taking it at 9.5. So if it's a 10-point Utah win, we'll have some things to say on Monday. But with that said, I like Cincinnati. We don't know the status of Devin Dampier, and I can't go all in on him being 100%, even if he does play. And for Cincinnati, I think they're still able to play the chip on our shoulder. Nobody thinks we're any good. Everybody says we're overrated. We don't belong. They have a ton of motivation for this game. And I just think that's a really sound football team, both sides of the ball. With Jake Golday at linebacker, one of the top tacklers in the Big 12. They're averaging almost 6 yards per carry as a team. I think Sorsby, this is his moment. He's already had a moment like this against Nebraska. And he's been chomping at the bit to have another moment like this in a hostile environment to prove to the nation that he is a legitimate, maybe Heisman caliber quarterback this season. Give me Cincy.
Yeah, this is easy money to me. Cincinnati plus the points. Not necessarily that Cincinnati will win this outright, though I do think they will. But, that's far too many points. Again, I think public perception has skewed this line dramatically. Even at 8.5, where this line was set, it felt like a lot of points. Cincinnati is legit, and I think the biggest question is, are they legit up front? Like, they are. Gavin Gerhardt is an NFL center. I think their defensive line has some NFL players on it. So, to me, I don't know that people realize how good Cincinnati is, and they're overrating Utah. Give me Cincinnati plus the points here.
Great note about their offensive line. The Cincinnati offensive line is super underrated. That is a veteran, solid group, top 5 in the country.
All right, guys. Last one. Baylor versus UCF. The line is 4.5.
Baylor at home against UCF. Baylor is favored by 3.5. It's at noon Eastern, 11 a.m. Central on ESPNU. UCF enters 4-3 overall, 1-3 in Big 12 play. Baylor is 4-4, 2-3 in Big 12 play. UCF is last time out coming off a 45-13 win over West Virginia. They had almost 600 yards of total offense. They held West Virginia to 210. The UCF passing defense is 6th in the country in yards allowed per game. I haven't seen any improvement from Baylor's defense. We're going into Week 9, Game 9 for Baylor. And I thought the growth that we would see after the Auburn game to now would be significant, and it hasn't been. So I like UCF. I don't trust that Baylor's defense can keep UCF and a healthy Taven Jackson and Jaden Nixon off the field. I think UCF keeps it close and maybe wins this one outright.
Yeah, I'm with you here. Give me UCF plus the 4.5 points. Same reasoning. At this point, you can't trust Baylor's defense. With Taven Jackson and this running attack for UCF, they've got a lot of explosives that I think will take advantage of Baylor's porous defense. And while I think Baylor and Sawyer Robertson have a bounce back, like UCF has a decent defense that I think will get enough stops. I don't know that UCF wins this outright, but it feels like it could be a close game. Give me UCF plus the 4.5 points.
Baylor's giving up almost 33 points per game and over 400 yards per game. And early in the year, it was explosive plays. Against SMU, that's what we kept hearing. It was explosive plays. There were 4 plays from that game that were like 250 of SMU's 4 whatever that they had. But now it's not just been explosive plays. Teams are gashing them on the ground, and the defense has just been a... And then also the off-the-field stuff. Like, your offensive line coach gets fired midweek. Like, that doesn't happen in a healthy locker room, in a healthy situation. So concerns about where they're headed the rest of the way.
And if Baylor loses this game outright, I think there's a chance that Dave Aranda could be fired on Sunday.
On Sunday, day after the game.
Uh-huh.
If
Baylor loses this game, I think there's a chance. A home game you lose to a UCF team that was picked at the bottom of the barrel. I think there's a chance that Dave Aranda is fired and that we're coming in here on Monday and reacting to that.
No, I think you're right. And my first thought was, do coaches get fired mid-season?
Yes.
Yes,
in
right. In
today's world, they do.
In today's world. Like, before the year, no, that's not going to happen. Mike Gundy, they'll at least give him till the end of the year. Coaches don't get fired mid-season in college football. Like, that just doesn't happen. And now it's a trend. It's a trendy, new age thing to do, and everybody's following suit.
Yeah, it's one of the things we talked about earlier this week when you were not here is like the amount of coaches that have been fired mid-season basically really ramped up in 2021. When I think the number was 12 in-season firings, which was more than like the previous 5 seasons combined.
In 21.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, it's a thing now, and it's the college football playoff, right? As soon as you think your team is out of it, you're willing to let go of your coach. Whereas in the previous world, winning 10 games, beating your rival, getting to a bowl game, those were metrics that were important to get to, but only 2 teams got to play for a national championship. So I think there were other factors to have your coach stay on to play for. That's out the window now that you have a playoff, and that's the goal now more than anything.
Yeah, really good point. Coming up next, Elijah Douzable, former UCF defensive lineman, over a decade in the NFL, on the call for the KU Oklahoma State game. We'll go in the trenches around the corner on Big 12 Radio.